and an accomplished class of new students ready to make an impact on medicine. While today is a day for our students and their induction into medicine as healthcare professionals in training, I would be remiss if I did not first acknowledge the opening of our university and to thank those that made today possible. American Canadian School of Medicine has been founded as a private, nonprofit institution with a social mission. We are physician-led and student-focused. In addition to preparing and educating excellent physicians, our mission is to improve healthcare, starting here in Dominica. For decades, Dominica has proven to be an exceptional location for medical education. And our purpose-built medical campus home, here where we gather today, is a testament to that. Dominica's healthcare system has provided medical students with many of their first and most impactful experiences as student learners. Our founder and chairman of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Avin Bhagapur, experienced this firsthand as a medical student in Dominica long before his career as an interventional radiologist. I would like to make a special acknowledgement and offer words of gratitude to the many leaders of the government of Dominica that are present here today. Without your hard work and partnership, we would simply not be here today. American Canadian School of Medicine's partnership with the government amplifies our impact. It bridges resources for our shared mission for advancing healthcare. Our accreditors, of which we proudly have two internationally recognized accreditors, IAAR and ACCM. IAAR publishes their report. Any member of the public can go to their website and download our 500-page self-study. They can see their review of the university. They can read everything about the deliberations when they decided to accredit us for the maximum full 5 years to begin our medical school. But in the IAR report, they acknowledge a number of towering strengths. They discuss the innovative curriculum. They discuss the physician faculty and their dedication and their craft in creating that curriculum. They discuss the experienced leadership of the school. But the first strength they listed of the school lay in what they deemed the overwhelming support of the Dominican government and its healthcare system for American Canadian School of Medicine. Significantly, that 5-year accreditation, it validates our dedication to high standards and it opens doors for American Canadian School of Medicine globally. To the inaugural class, as president of the American Canadian School of Medicine, my commitment to each of you is unwavering. I am devoted to ensuring that your education and experiences are unparalleled. It is both a duty and a privilege to be a guiding beacon on your path. And remember, my door remains ever open for feedback, guidance, mentorship, or even a reflective conversation. Remember that the white coat you receive today will symbolize responsibility, integrity, and the trust that society places in your hands. Our faculty stand by your side, guiding and inspiring you to become exceptional leaders. In times of change, your skills will shine as you adapt, innovate, and excel. Your white coat represents hope and healing and reminds us all of the light that you bring to patients' lives. As you embark on this journey, carry forward empathy, humility, and the pursuit of knowledge. Every patient is a human deserving of care. Cherish the privilege to serve, honor the trust given to you, and make a lasting impact. To the American Canadian School of Medicine class of 2027, congratulations on this day, your white coat ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. James, for your inspiring comments. One of the privileges of a somewhat lengthy academic career is that we academics often move around and encounter lots of different types of colleagues. And my latest stop on my journey is here, where it's been a pleasure to meet a fantastic dean. So please, Dr. Ahmadi, come and give your remarks. Thank you.
His Excellency Charles A. Savarin, President of Commonwealth of Dominica, and Ms. Savarin. Representing the Prime Minister, the Honorable Roland Royer, Minister for Culture, Fisheries, Blue and Green Economy. Honorable Kasani Laville, Minister for Health, Wellness and Social Services. Honorable Octavia Alfred, Minister for Education, Human Resources, Planning, Vocational Training and National Excellence. Members of Cabinet, dear President, the other President, President Kerry James, my President, Dr. Bagherpur, Arvind Bagherpur, Chair of Board of Trustee. I think I'm supposed to skip me, so I move on to students, faculty, and staff, and again, faculty, students, and proud family of students who are here today with us, local medias, ladies and gentlemen. I got through the protocol. I'm not a son-in-law of the land, so forgive me if it takes me a little bit to learn the way. Today marks an extraordinary moment in the history of the American Canadian School of Medicine, Dominica. As we gather here, amidst this august gathering of visionaries, leaders, mentors, and learners, we stand on the threshold of a new era in medical education, an era characterized by innovation, compassion, and unwavering commitment to healing humanity. Inaugurating the August 2023 class fills our heart with immense pride and excitement. Each of you are pioneering students, embarks on a journey that will transform not only your lives, but also the lives of countless others you will touch. You have chosen a path of noble purpose, one that requires dedication, resilience, and an unwavering desire to make a meaningful impact on the world. Our institution stands as a testament to the power of collective aspiration. We have built this medical school upon the bedrock of collaboration, bringing together the finest minds in academia and the dedication of a faculty that was trained for several years to deliver this unique and modern curriculum. And I really, at this point, I wish to go off the lines that were given to me and ask the faculty to stand up and ask you for a round of applause for the faculty that worked very hard to get us today here. Thank you. This combination fosters a student-centered environment where innovation flourishes and where the practice of medicine is elevated to an art that transcends science. As you step into this beautiful campus, you become part of a legacy that stretches back through time, an unbroken chain of healers, pioneers, and advocates of human wellness. But remember, you're not merely inheritors of this legacy. You are its torchbearers. It's your responsibility to add your chapters to this ever-evolving story, to push the boundaries of medical knowledge and to refine the limits of compassionate care. In a world that is increasingly interconnected, yet grappling with disparities, your role as physicians is not confined to the clinic or the hospital. Your education equips you to address not only the physical ailment that affects humanity, but also the systemic inequalities that perpetuates suffering. I implore you to remember that the oath you take today as medical professionals is an oath to humanity itself, a solemn promise to stand by your patient's side in their moments of vulnerability, to advocate for their rights, for justice, and to tirelessly pursue solutions that uplift the health and dignity of all. To the parents gathered here, thank you for entrusting us with the privilege of nurturing your children's aspirations. Your faith in their potential is a testament to the values you have instilled in them. We assure you that we will do everything in our power to provide them with an education that prepares them not just for a career, but for a life dedicated to service and purpose. To our esteemed faculty, you are the bedrock upon which this institution stands. Some of you have been working on this innovative curriculum with Dr. Wong for a few years. You have developed as a medical educator in this important process. Your dedication to imparting knowledge, your commitment to fostering critical thinking, and your unwavering support for our students is our most important asset. You are shaping the future of healthcare by nurturing the minds that will lead it. To the President, Prime Minister, and member of the Cabinet, your presence here is a testament to your belief in transformative power of education. We are immensely grateful for your support and encouragement, as well as endeavor to shape a generation of physicians who will contribute to the well-being of this nation and the world. And finally, to the August 2023 class, you are the embodiment of hope and custodians of a brighter tomorrow. Your journey has begun. And as you stand on the cusp of this new adventure, know that American Canadian School of Medicine Dominica stands with you. Our legacy intertwines with yours, and together we shall script stories of healing, empathy, and progress. Some of you might know this wonderful Hebrew phrase, tikkun olam. It means repairing the world. The world is broken, the thinking goes, so human beings must repair it by committing to social justice, or in the broadest sense, ethical behavior. To repair the world by healing others is the highest honor bestowed upon us as physicians. In the words of an ancient proverb, to save one life is to save the world entirely. Embrace this profound truth as you step into your roles as healers, advocates, and lifelong learners. Let your pursuit of knowledge be ceaseless, your compassion boundless, and your impact immeasurable. Congratulations, dear students, on your inauguration into our noble profession. May your journey be filled with purpose, resilience, and the boundless joy that comes from making a difference. Thank you. I have the honor of presenting our distinguished keynote speaker for this very special day. Dr. Jeffrey Wong is an accomplished, inspiring, and nationally renowned medical educator. Dr. Wong earned his Doctor of Medicine degree from University of Utah School of Medicine and subsequently completed his internship and residency in internal medicine at Duke University Medical Center. Following his residency, he contributed to Duke's faculty in the Division of General Internal Medicine, achieving the position of assistant professor. He also assumed the role of director for the primary care residency training program and the medical outpatient clinic where he guided medical residents. In 1996, Dr. Wong was recruited to Washington University in St. Louis, where he was appointed associate professor of medicine and assumed the role of chief of medical education within the Division of General Medical Sciences. Additionally, he took charge of the medical residence clinics at the Barnes Jewish Hospital, and in 1998, he was recruited to the Yale Primary Care Residency Program. During his tenure there, he directed the Henry Chase Outpatient Center and undertook various educational administrative responsibilities within the Yale Residency Program. In 2004, he was recruited to the Medical University of South Carolina, where he held the position of Senior Associate Dean for Medical Education, Emeritus, alongside being a professor of medicine. In 2015, Dr. Wong joined Penn State University. Recently, I believe, concluded his tenure as the Associate Dean of Medical Education at Penn State Hershey University Park Regional Medical Campus. Nationally engaged in the American Association of Medical Colleges and Society of General Internal Medicine, Dr. Wong holds the esteemed status of fellowship in American College of Physicians. His expertise lies in the realm of general internal medicine faculty development for clinical teaching skills and broader medical education. From the inception of our curriculum and faculty development initiative in Kazan, Dr. Wong has been an integral leader and mentor. His unwavering dedication has been pivotal in the realization of our remarkable achievements, and it's a true privilege to receive his insights and reflections. Dr. Wong.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmadi. All of that he read to you just means that I'm an old man. Are we good? All right. So I wanted to sort of make this presentation into two parts. Today, of course, is a celebration, and Carlina, I think is her name, was so wonderful in singing those national anthems. I mean, what a wonderful way to kick this off. And it's a celebration. All white coat ceremonies tend to be celebrations because it's where newly accepted medical students receive the symbolic accoutrement of the medical profession, the white coat and the stethoscope that they'll be soon getting. These accoutrements, they symbolize professionalism and authority. And white coat ceremonies serve as important rituals to highlight the sacred importance of that humanity for our profession, the profession of medicine. But today, there are many other reasons to celebrate. And President James and Dean Ahmadi have already talked about some of those. It kicks off the very first day of a brand new medical school, a not-for-profit medical school that has an imaginative, innovative, and decidedly non-traditional curriculum. The design captures some of the best of medical schools in the United States and Canada. And its processes for educating medical students are distinctly different from those in the Caribbean medical schools. So given all of that, I think that many of us, if not all of us in this room, are quite surprised that we have all gathered here on this beautiful tropical island in the South Caribbean to celebrate this new beginning. How did this school come to be? What are its origins and its foundational principles? And why do the vast majority of these brilliant young faculty members speak with Russian accents? Today's address, as I mentioned, has two parts. In the first part, I want to talk a little bit about the history of the American Canadian School of Medicine, the story about how this idyllic place came to be the venue from one of the newest accredited medical schools in the entire world, and hopefully answer the questions I just posed. The second part, I'm going to focus on the meaning of this ceremony for you, our new medical students. So there's an underlying theme that has happened, and it sort of describes how we are all here. It might be best illustrated by this next slide. So I recognize there's a lot of young people in this room, but does anyone recognize who those people are? Lots of blank looks over here. Anyone? John Lennon, yes, yes. The late John Lennon, his wife Yoko Ono, and his son Sean. So John Lennon's song, Beautiful Boy, is dedicated to their son Sean. And it's arguably one of the best songs he wrote as a solo artist. A lyric in that song fully describes the arc of the origins of the American Canadian School of Medicine. If I can get it to work. Life is what happens to you when you're busy making other plans. So keep that in mind as this story unfolds. Okay, on to part one. Can anyone guess the year of the origins of the American Canadian School of Medicine? Anyone? No guesses. Let me suggest a date. Let me suggest a year. How about 1814? How about a specific date? December 24th, 1814. Does anyone know what happened on that day? The slide helps you. The Treaty of Ghent was signed. The Treaty of Ghent ended the War of 1812. And in that treaty, all of the captured lands of the then established United States and Upper and Lower Canada were returned back to the original nations. The United States and Canada were made whole. So, do you think that's a reasonable place to start? You're not convinced. Okay. There's more. This is a picture of the Harvey Cushing John Hay Whitney Medical Library at the Yale University School of Medicine. The very first class of medical students graduated from Yale University School of Medicine in 1814. Now, you might be wondering why I'm talking about Yale and how that ties in, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Also, in 1814, approximately 4,918 miles to the east, or 7,915 kilometers for those of you that are more metrically inclined, Kazan State Medical University was established, and it opened its very first class of medical students that year, 1814. So you might be thinking that there's some connection between these two institutions, and you would be correct. To explain this a little bit more deeply, I need to introduce you to two gentlemen without whom conceivably this particular school might never have been built. Bhaskar Rastegar is a nephrologist and a professor emeritus of the Yale School of Medicine. In 1992, Yale internal medicine residents and faculty participated in a program funded by the United States Agency for International Development to help modernize the former Soviet medical system. And Dr. Rastegar led the Yale effort on behalf of the school, visiting a number of major cities in the former Soviet Union. Out of all of his visits, he found that Kazan was the only place where he sensed there was a strong desire for change. And so Yale initiated a partnership with KSMU and started going. In 1997, Dr. Rastegar asked a colleague and a friend Dr. Majid Sadiq, to go to Kazan and see what he thought. Dr. Sadiq is an infectious disease physician, an internationally renowned global scholar in global health, and has been a senior consultant for this school. Back in 1997, he was part of the Yale Primary Care Internal Medicine Residency Program, and he went to Kazan sort of out of curiosity and with really no expectations. But when he went, he was discovered that he was captivated by the energy of the young people. And so upon his return, the decision was made to grow the program and consolidate the collaboration between Yale and KSMU. So here's an abbreviated timeline of that history. In 1992, as I mentioned, the Yale primary care, or the Yale residents and faculty start to go to Kazan under Dr. Rastegar's aegis. In 1994, our own Dr. Ahmadi completed his internal medicine residency training program at Yale, and the next year served as chief resident. In 1997, as I mentioned to you, Dr. Sadiq goes to Kazan for the first time. Is totally captivated, and over the next 20 plus years, he goes back dozens of times to teach and to serve with people. In 1998, I actually joined the Yale Primary Care Internal Medicine Residency Program, became familiar with Dr. Sadiq's work, and in 2001, I made my first trip to Kazan State Medical University. It would have been the first of many trips that I ended up taking for the purposes of faculty development. In 2015, GMed Global, Dr. Ahmadi, Dr. Bhagapur, President Kerry James, and others began working with KSMU with this neat idea of creating accreditation through the Royal College and Physicians of Surgeons. And in 2017, they were successful in getting institutional accreditation for KSMU. Finally, in August of 2019, they were able to achieve residency accreditation. This was the first residency outside of Canada in the entire world that was accredited by the Royal College at that time. And these are the leadership of the Royal College, of KSMU, and of GMed Global. And if you'll notice this good-looking young man here on the left side of the slide, in January of 2020, that good-looking young man contacted me and told me about his plans for creating a new international medical school located in Kazan, Russia. He requested my help in creating a 4-year curriculum specifically designed for post-baccalaureate applicants, similar to the education in the United States and in Canada. As you may know, in Russia and in most of Europe, medical school students go right in out of high school, and it's a 6-year course of study. Dr. Ahmadi then introduced me to the small group of young MD faculty that he had already recruited to be involved in this process. And throughout the course of 2020 and 2021, I worked with this group of faculty, and we created a preliminary draft of a curriculum of course of study that you all are about to embark upon next week. Prior to the start of our work together, these young faculty members completed a curriculum design course from Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine. They read a number of books and monographs on educational design and theory, and they were fully engaged in creating this school. Suffice it to say, there is nothing haphazard at all about this curriculum. Everything has been thoroughly considered and modified over many iterations. Of course, if you might remember, there were some other complications going on at that time. Yes, this was all going on during the COVID pandemic. And while it was making its presence known and the world was being turned upside down, these dedicated faculty members were building this innovative medical school that they hoped would change the nature of Russian medical education. Life is what happens to you when you're busy making other plans. After about 18 months of weekly Zoom calls, video conferences with this group, several cases of thankfully mild COVID-19 illness, and multiple vaccinations, we actually got to meet face to face in September and October of 2021. And it was, if I can get it to go, incredibly productive. These dynamic young faculty members and I went through an entire series of faculty development workshops based on the Stanford University faculty model of clinical teaching. And as you can see depicted here, they started rehearsing some of the modules that you guys will be doing next week. They were refining and practicing their teaching skills. Now, while we were working hard on the curriculum, many of the leaders in this room were engaged in active negotiations with builders and developers to create an entire brand new residential medical campus in Kazan for this brand new medical school. In late January, early February of 2022, I returned back to Kazan one more time. Several new faculty members had joined the group. And we did more faculty development workshops, and those faculty that had been with us from the beginning welcomed the new group, got them up to speed. The enthusiasm and the energy of this group was palpable. A new professional family was beginning to form. And then, on February 24th, 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine, and once again, the world was turned upside down. Literally overnight, this wonderful, innovative project that was moving full speed ahead absolutely stopped. Massive uncertainty followed. Young people in Russia, including our brilliant young faculty teachers, were scrambling for their safety, for their livelihood, and quite literally for their lives. And their families continue to be torn apart by this war. The financial investors who previously recognized the inherent value and vision of this new school now understandably had absolutely no interest in continuing to support this project in Kazan or anywhere else in Russia for that matter. This dream, to which dozens of people had devoted thousands of hours of their lives, now seemed hopeless. Life is what happens to you when you're busy making other plans, indeed. Only, it wasn't hopeless. Those faculty members that could get out of Russia left. Even as the leaders of this nascent medical school were making sure that these individuals were safe and their well-being assured, they were already in negotiations to relocate the medical school to a new location. And they found a new location, approximately 6,100 miles to the southwest of Kazan, in a location considerably different in climate than that of Kazan, the island of Dominica. And so we are now all here. In this beautiful place, celebrating the maiden voyage of this long-awaited medical school. Now, regrettably, some of our hardworking colleagues who started with us 3 long years ago are still in Russia and are unable to join us presently. But the word has gotten out, and new, energetic faculty from all over the world have heard about this project, have signed up to enroll, and want to be part of it. And so, a new family has developed and grown. These exceptional young people have worked through unbelievable adversity to diligently prepare for your arrival. The resilience, the persistence, and internal motivation they have all displayed should serve as a model for us all. And the ironic fact that this brand new medical school actually has a very long history should provide you and your family some assurance that the journey that you are about to take is legitimate and well considered. Okay, on to part 2. This next year, it's not advancing very well. Can you do that? Thanks. This next year will be one of significant transitions for you, and while I know that you're very excited about being in medical school, remember, medical school isn't an end in and of itself. It's merely the first step along the way to becoming a physician. Symbolically, that white coat that you will soon be wearing, it tells the outside world that you're a physician and a scientist. And as such, it confers upon the wearer lofty societal expectations. These expectations will be placed upon you as medical students in your role at the American Canadian School of Medicine. Remember, you're no longer college students. You are professional students in graduate school. And so this white coat ceremony calls attention to that. Symbolizes your commitment to providing competent and compassionate patient care. As medical students and then subsequently as physicians, you will enjoy a great deal of respect merely by your position and stature. But as in most things in life, respect has to be earned. Ideally, physicians conduct all of their affairs in a respectful manner towards patients, families, colleagues, teachers, learners, to society at large, and towards the profession of medicine itself. It's also critical for you as aspiring physicians to respect yourself, to accurately recognize those things that you do well and those things that you're still working on improving. It's all about respect. In addition, the word respect might also serve as a mnemonic for reminding us of other key aspects of professionalism to which successful physicians aspire. The professional physician aspires to develop equanimity. Webster's dictionary defines this term as evenness of mind, especially under stress. Sir William Osler, in his valedictory address entitled Equanimitas at the University of Pennsylvania in 1889, noted, "In the physician or surgeon, no quality takes rank with imperturbability." He goes on to note that imperturbability means coolness and presence of mind under all circumstances, calmness amid storm, and clearness of judgment in moments of grave peril. Physicians are expected to be leaders, and equanimity is crucial for success. The professional physician demonstrates sincerity in thought, action, word, and deed. An ethical standard in medicine involves truth-telling, informed decision-making, and full disclosure in communications between physicians and their patients, as well as physicians and their colleagues. Conflicts of interest must be avoided when at all possible and fully acknowledged when they exist. The professional physician practices perseverance. Being extraordinarily smart is not a requirement for success in medical school. However, it is extremely difficult to succeed without working hard. Not giving up when the work becomes challenging, not just settling for a diagnosis when some of the history just doesn't fit. Not acquiescing to, but instead working to improve a system of care that fails to meet your patient's needs. Those are some of the persevering traits of our profession. The professional physician aspires to excellence. All of you to date have already done well in your growth and development, otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here listening to me talk. But, however, there may become a time in your future career where maybe within even this next year, when the going gets a little tough, or the task is a little harder than you thought, and you might be tempted just to coast, or do just enough to get by. Please strive to resist this temptation, for if you're not trying your best, you're cheating your patients and you're cheating yourself. You don't want anyone in your family to be treated by a physician that just scraped by. Right? Don't be satisfied with mediocrity. Aspire to excellence. The professional physician exhibits compassion. Compassion should pop up right now. There we go. This compassion is demonstrated through empathetic communication and altruistic actions, acting for the good of one's patients and placing the good of patients over one's own self-interest. Francis Peabody's oft-quoted line applies here. For the secret of the care of the patient is in caring for the patient. And lastly, the professional physician inspires trust. Trust is not something that just occurs. It's something that develops, and it is inspired by the conduct of the physician, often due to successful and repeated demonstration of those other 6 words. Trust is not easy to build, and it can be destroyed in an instant with a single misstep if that misstep makes the patient feel belittled, ignored, or disrespected. It's truly an awesome responsibility that the trust the patients give us. The late Dr. Faith Fitzgerald, formerly a professor of medicine at the University of California at Davis, describes the enormity of this obligation in this context. Imagine what a patient thinks when you prescribe a medication, an elixir, about which you say, I want you to take this medicine because I believe it will help to make you well. However, there is a chance for side effects to occur. This drug might even create new problems for you that don't presently exist. It might even kill you. And the patient says, I'll take the medicine you prescribe, doctor, because I trust you. Or how about the patient whom you believe requires an operation? We say to them, we're going to give you some chemicals in a sharp needle placed in a vein in your arm. Then we're going to have you breathe a vapor that's going to entirely knock you out. While you're sleeping, we're going to cut you open, we're going to take out part of your organ that's diseased, then we're going to sew you back up. And in order to wake you up, we're going to give you other chemicals to reverse the first chemicals we gave you. We believe that all of this is safe. In fact, we don't even think it's going to cause you much pain. However, there is the possibility for things to go wrong. It might even kill you. And remarkably, the patient says, I'll undergo the surgery, doctor, because I trust you. Or even more remarkable still, imagine parents bringing you a sick child, perhaps their only child, perhaps the most precious and irreplaceable thing in their lives. And they hand over their son or their daughter to ply with medicine, to anesthetize and cut open for surgery, or to do other things to the child while the child is fully awake. Things that cause obvious distress and emotional harm. They do it, doctor, because they trust you. You are all on the threshold. Oops, let me go back one. That's okay, we'll go here. You're on a threshold of an incredible life journey, one of excitement and hard work. Your past experiences have taught you valuable skills, and these young, dedicated faculty members will give you the additional mentoring you need to be successfully moving on to your next stage of professional growth. Medicine is arguably the most distinguished and noble of all professions, and it is unlike any other profession you may have selected. Never forget the amazing privilege bestowed upon you as a physician in caring for another human being. And be mindful of the incredible trust that is placed in you and in our profession. To close, I'd like to go back to that John Lennon song, Beautiful Boy, as his lyrics seem to be completely apropos to describe this very moment in all of our lives. Out on the ocean, sailing away, I can hardly wait to see you come of age.
But I guess we'll both just have to be patient, because it's a long way to go. A hard road to hoe. Yes, it's a long way to go, but in the meantime, before you cross the street, take my hand. Life is what happens to you when you're busy making other plans. Thank you so much for your attention, and welcome to medical school.
Thank you, Dr. Wong, for a truly comprehensive and so deeply inspiring white coat that I would just like to exceed my responsibility and say that you're welcome back anytime to give that same talk to our students and faculty. So we now come to the point in the ceremony that the students have really been looking forward to. So I'd like to ask Doctors Belagubova and Karulin to come to the front. That's you, Ilshat. That's you, Sophia. And assume the position, please. And now, Senior Director of Student Services, Mr. Mason Philpott, will call the students to receive their white coat and their Gold Foundation pin, and in late-breaking news, a stethoscope. So, Mr. Philpott.
Thank you. It's with great honor that we introduce this first class for American Canadian School of Medicine. From right here in Dominica, Brent Remy. From New Jersey, Evan Zamont. From Miami, Florida, Fatima Mohammed Ali. From Houston, Texas, Jacqueline Reyes. From Puerto Rico, Javier Maldonado. Nice. From California, Jose Guzman. Let's go around this. And just joining us from California, Lenore Hurani. From Nebraska, Patrick Forbes. And last but not least, from Minnesota, Vincent Harvey.
Thank you all very much. You may return to your seats. I'd like the whole class of 2027 to stand up, please. And now I invite Dr. Abiola Omadan to lead the class of 2027, as well as any MD in the audience who would like to reattest using the oath that is on the back of the program. Dr. Omadan.
Thank you, sir. Good day, everyone. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocol, Your Excellency. Thank you. It's been said severally this afternoon that the practice of medicine is actually a privilege. And with this privilege actually comes considerable responsibility. So with this knowledge at the back of your mind, I want you to please raise up your right hand for me, and you can repeat after me. As a member of the medical profession, I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of humanity. The health and well-being of my patients will be my first consideration. I will respect the autonomy and dignity of my patient. I will maintain the utmost respect for human life. I will not permit considerations of age, disease or disability, creed, ethnic origin, gender, nationality, political affiliation, race, sexual orientation, social standing, or any other factor to intervene between my duty and my patient. I will respect the secrets that are confided in me, even after the death of my patient. I will practice my profession with conscience and dignity, and in accordance with good medical practice. I will foster the honor and noble traditions of the medical profession. I will give to my teachers, colleagues, and students the respect and gratitude that is their due. I will share my medical knowledge for the benefit of the patient and the advancement of healthcare. I will attend to my own health, well-being, and abilities in order to provide care of the highest standard. I will not use my medical knowledge to violate human rights and civil liberties, even under threat. I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor. Thank you.
Perhaps if the students would just remain standing for one moment, Dean Amadi, I present to you the class of 2027. And now it's a privilege to be able to invite Dr. Arvind Bhagapur, our CEO and Chair of the Board of Trustees, to give his closing remarks, and we'll make some presentations. Dr. Bhagapur.
Thanks. Thank you, Dr. White. This one? Okay. Let me just pull up my short note here. Thank you, everybody, for coming today. I know it's a Sunday and it's everybody's days off, but greatly appreciate that, and appreciate all our guests and our family members, and of course the medical students for coming. I'd first like to thank His Excellency, President Charles Savarin and his wife, Honorable Roosevelt Scarrett and his representatives, Honorable Kasami Laville, the Minister of Health, Wellness, and Social Services, Honorable Octavia Alfred, Minister of Education, Human Resources, Planning, Vocational Training, and National Excellence, all the members of the Cabinet, members of the Board of Trustees, our friends and family and colleagues joining us online, President Kerry James, Dean Dr. Amadi, Senior Associate Dean who's not with us right now but online, Dr. Bruce Kaplan, and my mother, who is also the Vice President of Student Support Services, Dr. Parvin Bhagapur. I'd also like to thank my family and again the students for coming. Distinguished guests, invited media, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed faculty, honored guests, proud family, and the newly coded students. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living." These words resonate deeply today as you celebrate your choices of a path filled with purpose, passion, and potential. We are gathered here in beautiful Dominica, where the warm and welcoming spirit of the people complements our own values. We express our sincere gratitude for the unwavering support of the Dominican people and the government, and take pride in the first nonprofit medical school in the region, with a mission to cultivate and develop the next generation of medical professionals. May you wear your white coats with pride and humility, recognizing not only they represent your personal achievements, but the profound responsibility that it represents. Congratulations once again, and thank you for being part of this remarkable journey. As you embark on the noble pursuit of healing, may you go forward with courage, empathy, and integrity, embodying the very essence of what it means to be a healer. Thank you all for attending today's white coat ceremony, and I'm looking forward to meeting everybody outside in our reception, and thank you all for your great support. And once again, welcome to medical school. I'm going to hand out some flowers to our honorable guests. You guys want to help me? Okay, great.
that it? Oh, we have some baskets to pass out. Thank you very much. I think that concludes the gift distributions. So it's followed by a reception with music from Mikhail Henderson, food, and non-alcoholic beverages. If the class and faculty could just remain for a second, but thank you all very much, everyone.